Greetings to one and all. Welcome back to the video lecture. In the previous video lecture, we have discussed on the concept of exception handling. In that exception handling, we have seen what is an exception, how to handle an exception, and how to handle multiple exceptions, and the clauses like throws clause and throw clause. And even we have discussed on types of exceptions such as built-in exception and user defined exception. In today's session we are going to discuss on a new concept which is there in Java, that is threads. Threads in Java. A thread represents a separate path of execution of a group of statements. In a Java program, if we write a group of statements, then these statements are executed by JVM one by one. This execution is called a thread. So because JVM uses a thread to execute these statements, this means that in every Java program, there is always a thread running internally. This we have to understand. In every Java program, there is always a thread which is running internally. So from this, we can understand what is a thread is. If not, let me take an example. So from this example, you could understand what is a thread is all about. So let us take an example of MS Word. If a student wants to type some document by using MS Word, while he was typing a document, if he commits some mistakes, spelling mistakes and grammatical mistakes, this spelling mistakes which are denoted underlined by the red line, and the grammatical mistakes which are denoted and underlined by green line. So who is going to do this? Whether a student is doing this or MS Word is doing this? No. In this case, none of them are doing it. Not even MS Word, not even a student is doing this. The behind MS Word tool, there is a thread who is doing this task to show you or show a user that he or she has committed a mistakes in a document. So I hope you understood what is a thread is all about. This thread is used by JVM to execute the program statements. In order to understand thread and in Java program which thread is getting executed, so to know this, let us execute a program, small program. So the program, the class which I have written is as mthread. Main method I've included it. Into that I have printed a statement. Let us find the current thread, and I've created an object, named it as t of a class thread class, and you could see which is equal to thread dot current thread. Current thread is a method of a type static type. How do you say this as a static type? A static type in the sense, the static, because of this method is a static type, so we are trying to access this method with the help of class name. So next I am printing two statements, that is the current thread and its name. So let us run this program in a command prompt. Go to the command prompt by typing a command cmd, enter, and you have to go to a respective path where exactly the programs have been saved at threads. And before compiling or running the program, you have to check whether the path has been set for this command prompt or not. Let me check this. In this case, the path has been not set. In order to set the path, you have to use a command set path is equals to c colon backslash program files java jdk bin semicolon dot semicolon. This command is nothing but a temporary path setting. Even we can set a path permanently, that which we are going to discuss in the next sessions. So once you have done with, let me check typing a command java c. Yes, now the path has been setted. So clear the screen. Once you have done with, now let us compile the program m thread. Now run that. Program got compiled successfully. Now run it. Once you have run it, you get that output stating that let us find the current thread, and current thread is equals to thread main 5 comma main, and the name of the thread is main. From this you could answer a question, that which thread always runs in a Java program by default. The name of the thread is main thread. A thread represents execution of statements. The way the statements are executed in of two ways. So the one way is single tasking, another one is multitasking. So single tasking, let us discuss on this single tasking. Single tasking, nothing but what exactly the single task is. A task means doing some calculations or processing or something else, etc. Generally, a task involves execution of group of statements. For example, executing a program. In single tasking environment, only one task is given to the processor at a time. This is very important. In single tasking environment, only one task is given to the processor to execute that task at a time. So in order to understand this, let us consider an example. If a student wants to uh, execute some programs in his lab, then the student goes to the lab and he sits in front of the system and start typing the program. You start typing the first program. While you typing, the processor should wait for a ideal time, for a stipulated time. For maximum number of time, the processor should wait it here actually. So once he has done with that, that is typing, then that program is handed over to a processor. The processor will takes it and it executes that task or a program. Once he has finished it or he got the result, then he start typing next program. And again, while he is typing, the processor again it has to wait for some stipulated time, means for maximum number of time. If again it depends, the time of that waiting period of a processor will be depends on the length of the program. The first program is of 10 lines, second program is of 100 line, third program is of 1,000 line. It depends of a number of lines of a program he is typing it. See, from this what you could understand is, uh, in single tasking, only one task is given to the processor at a time. This means we are wasting a lot of processor time, and microprocessor has to sit idle without any job for a long time. This is the major drawback what you could see it of a single tasking. This single tasking which has been explained in this program. See, so this is the first program. While is typing, this much time processor should wait. Once he has done with the second program, started with the second program, again he has to wait. See, this mean much of time the processor should sit idle in a single tasking. I hope you understood. So next we'll move on to a multitasking. To use the processor's time in an optimum way, we can give it several jobs at a time. For a processor, we can give several jobs